What's up, guys? It's your boy Tels. Before we hop right into this trade recap, I want to let you know about my completely free, 100% free of charge Discord trading community server that you can join if you hit the link in the description. I'll leave a link down there for you guys to check it out. Quick little trade recap today. We made around $3,100 on the day, and we took a pretty nice dub on this A+ setup. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I was looking for and my confluences to get in this trade and exactly how we took it. So let's just hop straight into it. As always, first thing we are doing at 9:30 market open, or right before ideally, is looking for areas to mark out. And those areas that we're going to be looking to mark out are 4-hour zones as well as 1-hour zones. And we're also going to be looking to identify our higher time frame bias. Now, I will say my higher time frame bias coming into today was actually bearish. You're going to see why I switched to a bullish bias in just a second here. So what I was looking for to first do was to mark out hourly or 4-hour fair value gaps. On the 4-hour, I marked out this right here, as well as this right here. On the hourly, I marked out this right here, and let's get rid of that candle because that actually wasn't there coming into open. But anyway, these are the 3 zones that I had marked out: this hourly right here, this 4-hour, and then this 4-hour down here. Now, the reason I was bearish, you're probably wondering, was because the overnight session was completely bearish. Pretty much I usually take my formulate my higher time frame bias off of the overnight session, which is this little blue box area right here. And we were super bearish, as you can see here. But after getting confirmation and an A+, all my A+ confluences to the upside, that's how I ended up taking along, and we ended up smacking on that today. So we're gonna hop down onto the 5-minute time frame and go right on over to market open. And then I like to see where price is at open relative to London and Asia highs. So as you can see here, we had untested Asia and London highs. Okay, perfect. So what I ideally was wanting to see was us come up, possibly take out London and Asia, or come up and retest this zone right here and then dump. Or I was looking for kind of more of a, continuation down and then a 5-minute fair value gap to get respected, and then a 1-minute inversion. What I was immediately looking for on open, since I did have a bearish bias, was a 5-minute fair value gap to form to the downside. Now, as you can see, we did not get that. Now, as soon as this candle closed right here, so this is only about 5 minutes into open, first thing I noticed was how well we held off of this 4-hour zone. This 4-hour zone right here, look at how well we held off of that. That is my first confluence, right? So I have 4 confluences in my strategy. The first is to identify your higher time frame bias, which I will admit today I did get wrong, but I ended up flipping it to the right side. So we'll just scratch that for now. My second confluence is a hold off of a higher time frame fair value gap. In this case, it was this 4-hour gap right here. So after holding off of that so well, I was looking for a 5-minute fair value gap to be formed to the upside. I also got rid of this. We also did inverse this 1-hour fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame with that candle close right here. And as you can see, guys, this candle close right here is what really sold me on longs. Number one, we were able to close above that 1-hour fair value gap, inversing it on the 15-minute time frame. We didn't get an inversion on the 1-hour time frame, which is what I really wanted to see, but just seeing it on the 15-minute time frame was enough for me to flip my bias to longs, as well as taking out pre-market low, which was right there, and holding off of this 4 hours. So pretty much everything was pointing to longs at this point. I marked out this pre-market draw on liquidity, as well as this zone up here that we have not fully filled yet. So every single thing was yelling at longs right here. Also, I just looked over my camera and realized how fucking messy my couch looks right now. Please excuse the mess back there. I had a pretty eventful weekend, if you will. But anyway, we held off of this low, this 4-hour gap. We swept our pre-market low. So that was already a level of liquidity that we swept and then held off that low. And then we closed above this hourly gap and created a 15-minute inversion right off that hourly. Now, what am I looking for? So not only that is that looking insanely good for longs, but we also have an untested London high, an untested Asia high, and this pre-market high, as well as if unfilled 4-hour gap from up here. So these are now my liquidity targets: London high, Asia high, this pre-market high, as well as I guess technically that's not pre-market, that's like overnight session from yesterday. And as well as to fill this gap up here. So now I'm hopping onto the 5-minute time frame, and I'm looking for a 5-minute fair value gap to be formed to the upside, which we actually did get. So now I'm looking for that fair value gap to be retested and respected, right? This box right here. I know it can get a little chaotic with all of the boxes. This is the hourly that we inversed right here, this one. And then this is the 5-minute fair value gap that got formed right there. Now that I have a bullish bias for everything that we just went over, I want to see this get tapped into and respected. Started to run up a little bit, and we get the retest right here. We were looking pretty bearish right here, but I wanted to see it hold, and it gets held right there. And then I want to see a 1-minute inversion. Now my 1-minute inversion is going to come after the respect of the 5-minute fair value gap. So I'm looking for now for a bearish 1-minute fair value gap, which is right here. And I'm looking for that to get inversed on the 1 minute. That gets inversed on the 1 minute right here. You know what? For the sake of all of these drawings, I'm just going to make that a line. So it's a lot more clear to see. We did end up getting the close and the inverse of that 1 minute fair value gap right here. And that's actually where I took my entry. So now guys, exactly going over everything from start to finish, we had a bullish bias after we, number one, opened up and then took out pre-market low and held off of this 4-hour fair value gap. Confluence number one checked off. Hold off a higher time frame fair value gap with our bias, which at this point was now bullish. Now I'm looking for a 5-minute fair value gap to be formed after respecting that. The sweep of the pre-market low is not a confluence, but that was added confirmation for me, which was great. We got a 5-minute fair value gap that formed right here. And now I'm dropping onto the 1 minute time frame, looking for us to respect that. Okay, we tap into it and we respect it. Now I'm looking for a 1 minute inversion, which is this fair value gap right here. We wait, we kind of chopped around, and then boom, we got the 1 minute inversion right there. A plus fucking setup. We take our entry at the close. We have our stop loss at the low that we created on the respect of the 5-minute fair value gap. And now we're going to target opposing liquidity levels. My liquidity target was right here. I played up to Asia highs for a 1.4 RR. If you wanted to, you could play up to here. You could play up to here, or you could play up to here if you're really fucking feeling yourself. But for me personally, I liked this Asia high, especially considering it was a no news Monday. However, I did think that we had a lot of, room to the upside to just get up there. And we, as you can see now, we actually, like, if you, now you can see this is, I just exited the replay. If you did target the bottom of this zone, if you had your target as here or here, that looks like it's still wants to hit. So if I had my target up here, I would have made even more money on this thing, but we just targeted right there that Asia high for a 1.4 RR. So we are entered this trade right over here, and I'm going to go break even right here. Now, the reason we go break even right here, once we take out that high of day, or once we take out that, previous high that we made before the respect of the 5 minute, is to avoid fake outs, right? I've said this a million times. All of these confluences together make an A+ setup and give you like an extremely high probability trade, right? We're obviously uptrending. We swept previous low of day. We're holding off a higher time frame fair value gap. We created the 5-minute FVG that we respected. We got a 1 minute inversion, and we have obvious opposing liquidity levels that price is going to be drawn to. Boom, we enter right there. Stop loss is there. Put your TP on opposing spot. For me, it was that Asia high, and then we just simply let this thing run. We got break even really quick, so right as soon as that got taken, I moved my stop loss to break even. Perfect. It's now a risk-free trade, and we just hold this thing. We end up blowing past London high, and then we come up super close to my TP, right? So right up here, I was up about 90 points, and I was only about 12 points away. I thought for sure I was going to be able to hit right there, but guys, the one thing I did notice is at this point, which was right here, ES had taken out both Asia and London high. So I was a little sketched out now about this because, I've been trading for a long time. And if you guys know anything about SMT, it's a very, very strong confluence. And SMT is when one indice, whether ES or NQ, take out a significant liquidity level before the other does. Right? So ES actually took out London high right there, or Asia high, sorry, while NQ did not. So now I was like, okay, this thing could reverse. I'm, keeping my position exactly how it is regardless, right? I didn't move my SL or trim early or anything like that. I'm just gonna, I was aware though. I was like, okay, if we're going to reverse to the downside, it's gonna be now. And lo and behold, we did. Fortunately for us, this did end up just being a rebalance of the little breakout that we had right here. We tested this 5-minute that we formed after our entry, retested that, respected it, and then we ended up going ahead and ripping all the way back up to TP. So we came super close to being stopped out after that SMT. Another lesson right here, this is why you always let your trade play out. This is why you don't cut your trades early, because if I was to cut this down here, just being like, oh, this is probably going to get stopped, and then I saw it run back up, I would have got pissed. Now this is, let's go ahead and exit the replay mode actually. And yeah, so you could have even targeted the bottom of this, the midpoint of this. This is one of the other 4-hour fair value gaps we had marked out, right? You could have targeted this, the midpoint here or here. Me personally, I just liked it there for a 1.4 RR. Saying again, just because it was a no news Monday, I wasn't expecting an extreme amount of volatility, but we had really good price action today, an obvious A+ setup, guys. I mean, there's not much else I can say. Took this on all my accounts, made about $3,100, about $670, 6.7 reference per account. If you were really feeling ballsy, you could have targeted up to here, and that would have got hit too. So a couple lessons today, guys. Number one is sometimes you will have scenarios where your higher time frame bias flips. Like in my case today, my higher time frame bias coming into the day was actually bearish, but after sweeping this pre-market low and holding off this 4-hour and then getting my A+ setup to the upside, that's what I ended up taking, and we ended up hitting that for a 100-point TP, which is absolutely amazing. And this looks like I would probably be willing to bet my both my balls that this is going to come up and fill this entire gap here later in the day, throughout the day. But we were able to catch that nice little move up. That's an A+ setup, guys. Amazing continuation to this win streak. And yeah, I mean, really can't complain. A+ setup, followed all my rules. Very happy with how this played out, obviously. And that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Make sure to follow me on socials and hit the like button and subscribe button right down below this video. And also, I'm going to leave a link to a Tradeify and Apex sales that are on right now. Make sure to use my affiliate code if you want to support me. It'd mean the absolute world to me. I love you guys so much. We have been super locked in, keeping this win streak alive, following our rules, only taking A+ setups, and they are paying every single time. Worst case scenario, really on an A+ setup is we get stop break even. That's it, guys. I will see you all tomorrow for another trade recap. Hopefully, if we take a trade, if I don't upload, it means I didn't take a trade. But if I do, you guys will see me. So I will see you then tomorrow. But yeah, peace. Love you guys.